Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Slowly, I'm getting everybody's attention. If you haven't gotten donuts, get your donuts and then sit down and we'll get this party started. Grab a donut. All right. Good morning, everybody. If I could please ask everybody to take your seats. No kidding. What's that? Good morning, everybody. Hey, Karen, where's that gavel? That's the first time we've ever had to do that. I love it. I'd whistle, but I can't. So I use that gavel. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. What an exciting time. Beautiful weather. Primary is over. Now on to the general election. We got a great crowd. So before we get started, could I ask everyone to please stand and we'll say the blessing and then the Pledge of Allegiance. Senator Sue Glick will lead us in prayer. Sue, can I ask you to come up here? We're live streaming, by the way. We're starting to broadcast this, hence the microphone. So if anybody wants to be heard, you have to talk into this.
Please bow with me. Heavenly Father, please be with us this day and always. Join us as we bring to you our requests and our prayers. We pray for this great nation that we love so much. We pray that your blessings will be with us in the days going forward. Guide our leaders, guide our people as we make decisions to make it even stronger and to bring it back to where you designed it and how you feel about it. Please be with all of us as we go through our day, be with our families, and in this springtime, we pray our thanksgiving for all that you have given us. Be with us now and our troops abroad and in this nation who keep us safe. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Ken Shelton, would you please lead us in the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We got a full schedule this morning, so I'll keep it brief. I just wanted to say congratulations to the candidates who won in this municipal election, and to those that did not. Thank you for running. It's never easy to put yourself out there, and we certainly appreciate it. We had I believe, Sierra, did you say last year, or the previous primary for the municipal, it was 10% turnout. Still dismal, but 16%, so almost doubled it. But still, everyone did a great job, and I just want to thank you. And now on to November. So we're excited to get that going. And I wanted to say just a quick thank you to Teresa Steele and Denny Springer, Amanda, I don't know your last name, sorry, Lauer, and Sierra Bowman for helping out getting the TARS, which is the teenage Republicans, up and going. So we're trying to revitalize that. Still working on the Latino and Spanish, but we're working on that too in the women's club. So I almost got my 3-prong initiative completely filled out, but great crowd. I feel like when Trump does it, turn those cameras around and show the crowd. We got a great crowd here this morning. I appreciate everybody being here. Well, we have a couple of announcements and a couple of folks to talk about, but I think we'll just get right into our speaker for today. And Andy Zay, I've known Andy back from a long time ago when we were going around down in Indianapolis, some of the different functions. And, he took over for Jim Banks, and I'll read you a little bit of it. So just in case you don't know it, but State Senator Andy Zay, Republican Huntington, is running for the 3rd District House Representatives, which encompasses Adams, Allen, Blackford, DeKalb, Huntington, LaGrange, Noble, Steuben, Wells, Whitley counties, and portions of Jay and Kosciuszko counties. In the Senate, Jay is a member of the Environmental, Pensions and Labor and Utilities and Commerce Committees. Andy's, I called you Jay. Andy's wife, Cindy, they both were born and raised in Huntington. Cindy started her career with First Federal Savings Bank, Huntington, 35 years ago as a teller, and now serves as the vice president of mortgage. Andy and his wife raised their 5 children in Huntington. You beat me. I only have 4. So on Huntington County, the Zay family enjoys being outdoors, spending time together, and participating in sports. And you also have, you manage a Zay Leasing and Rentals, 3rd-generation family-owned operated business since 1953. So without further ado, I'll give you Andy Zay.
That is a Z, not a J. Zay. What an honor and privilege to be with you. What a great turnout. Good to see you all out today. We still have the church thing going. We have seats in the front here that are empty, so feel free to move on up. But it's been a big week, big couple weeks. Senator Glick and I finished our work down in Indianapolis, and in true Indiana fashion, blessed our state with a balanced budget, plenty of reserves, and was a little like Christmas in April with the revenue forecast coming out strong. We had an extra $1.5 billion. So a lot of different initiatives were funded and priorities funded, as we have done year in and year out, which is such a blessing here in Indiana. It's certainly something we can't take for granted. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of collaboration. It takes a lot of effort. But we again did that and finished in the wee hours at 2:47 in the morning, and came home, and I was up and at meetings at 9 o'clock the next day. So, and after that, just Thursday night of this week, I graduated from Indiana University with a master's degree in public affairs, concentration in finance. And I was what they formerly called hooded. I wasn't sure how I felt about that, but that is the ceremony. But the theme of the O'Neill Public School, which is the #1 rated public affairs school in the United States of America, and I was very honored to graduate from there, is to lead for the greater good. And as I've formed my campaign and formed my mission throughout this next year, and what I want to bring to you and bring to the 3rd District as your congressperson, it really resonated with me. That's exactly what I'm trying to do as a public servant, is lead for the greater good. As a state senator, I tell people all the time, I don't need the title of senator. I don't want the title of senator. I simply want to make Indiana better and represent the people that I represent. And I feel that same way, and I have that same conviction as asking to be your congressperson. I don't need that title. I don't want that title. I want to leave America better. And what I do and what we serve as elected officials is not about the here, not about the now, not about the today. It's about the legacy that we leave for our children and our grandchildren. And we're doing a very fair job and a very good job of that at the state. Washington, not so much. Not so much. So what do we need in a congressperson? What are we looking for to replace the big shoes of Jim Banks, who served us well? We need somebody with experience. We need somebody with conviction, and we need somebody that will lead. You have 6 very nice folks. 2 or 3 maybe stick out above the others. You're going to hear from all of us over the course of the next few months, many months. I think we're all likable. I think we're all great people. I think we're great husbands. We're great, there'll be great wives. We have great families. So what separates me from the others? And I think a big thing that separates me from the other candidates is experience. Because when you talk about conviction, you talk about core issues in the Republican Party, you're talking about life, you're talking about the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms, and you're talking about taxes. As a state senator, I've stood on the front lines, I've stood in the quiet rooms, I've stood in the back rooms and advocated for those issues where they matter. Last summer, we were called back. I signed the letter to ask us to be called back if Roe v. Wade was in fact overturned, as it was. We were the first state in the United States of America to legislate policy post Roe v. Wade. What maybe should have seemed easy, what maybe should have come easy, was not that at all. Our author of the bill is here today, Sue Glick. She was the champion that carried it and fostered it through the process. She struggled. It was a tough fight. It was a tough fight amongst Republicans. It was pretty clear where the Democrats would be on that issue. But there was a moment in the middle of that process where there was a pretty big divide in our caucus in the Senate. And we were the champions of this legislation moving forward. There was a small group of us that had formed a life caucus that was trying to bring our leadership along, bring our leadership with us on this. Because there was life for the mother only being the only exception to a much more moderate policy, including rape and incest and other amendments and concerns. And there just wasn't a consensus on exactly where that final legislation should end up. But the concern I had and my conviction was Right to Life had been working on this issue for about 50 years. And they simply were not talking to our leadership. And so I challenged our leadership, because after we had a vote on an amendment for the life of the mother only exception, we didn't have a majority. 18 of our members voted for that. I believe more should have, but they didn't. So we were at a fork in the road. But I think we needed leadership and we needed connection. And I think we needed the connection with the Right to Life. And so I challenged our leadership to talk to Jim Bopp, who's been a champion for right to life issues and has litigated it all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States. And Jim had a gal working for her named Courtney Milbank, who was kind of the forefront on a lot of this. So I said, I will vote for the product that we had settled on at that point, if you speak with them, because the bill had already been settled. The opportunity to amend it had already been settled. It wasn't where a lot of us wanted that bill to be. But it was important to move something forward. The eyes of the country, the eyes of the world were on us in regards to how we are going to look at life. And I said, if you speak with them and find a consensus of an amendment that we can offer on the House chamber, I said, I will promise you my vote, and I will work to champion others to come alongside me. And that evening, the leadership of our Senate spoke with Jim Bopp and his colleague for 2.5 hours. I got verification of that from Jim and his team, and verification of that from our leadership the next morning. So with that, I encouraged a colleague of mine whose office is right down the hall. We sit together on the floor, and a colleague of mine who sits right in front of me. And we were the 24th, 25th, and 26th vote that advanced the life bill in the state of Indiana. Otherwise, that bill would have been dead. And aside from, I believe it was Nebraska who had a terrible issue, the life cause in our country may have taken a serious hit. I was on the front lines. I was negotiating. I was a part of that process. I stood with our author at the end to get something done that was going to make a difference in Indiana. It's still in the courts. It's still being muddied up. It's still being decided. But it was significant that we advanced a piece of legislation post Roe v. Wade that made a difference for lives in the state of Indiana. And I believe if you don't get the life issue right, everything else we do is pretty much immaterial. So that's the first issue. The second issue is Second Amendment, our constitutional right to carry our guns. Again, another contentious issue 2 years ago. I was not on the committee that heard the bill. It got botched up a little bit in committee. We had to resurrect it, kind of make something out of nothing. But again, it was an important issue to our caucus. We advanced. And on the floor, the day of that vote, the superintendent of the state police stood right over my right shoulder. He wasn't exactly fond of the bill. He wasn't exactly fond of what we were trying to do. But the majority of our caucus felt it was an important initiative that we needed to move forward. So with the pressure of a naysayer behind me, I stood up and championed that vote and casted that vote. And then finally, the third issue is taxes. Indiana has always led the way in trying to reduce and look at taxes holistically. This year, we passed Senate Bill 3, which will take a snapshot of all our taxes, from local taxes, property taxes, regulation fees, sales tax, income tax over the next few years. As we meet our obligations and pay down our pension liabilities, we'll be in a position to hopefully free up opportunity to give you more of your money back, to help locals potentially, reduce property taxes and keep more of your money. But I had an initiative 3 years ago that kind of started this conversation in eliminating income tax, potentially eliminating income tax. So we're really taking that to the forefront. And with that initiative, the House started an initiative and passed a bill last year to make Indiana the lowest tax state in regards to income tax within the next few years. So of all states that do have an income tax, we will be the lowest in the United States of America. And I was very proud to stand with that and champion that in the Senate side. But what you need to recognize, I wasn't the author. I wasn't standing on my desk. I wasn't screaming and all this, but that's legislating. That's the experience. Being a legislator is different than many of the other positions in government. whether it's the judiciary, whether it's the executive. It's negotiating. It's speaking in the back rooms. It's learning from lobbyists, learning from people in the street how the legislation that we do is going to affect you. What is the difference? How are we going to get that home? And how are we going to make a difference? And that's the experience I bring to table that no other person in this race at this point has. It's not an easy task. It's not an easy task to bring people together, to champion those initiatives, to define from our communities what are the most important things. But I think those three things that I listed are the most important things to Republicans. They're certainly the most important things to me. And I hope you're proud to be a resident of the state of Indiana with those causes solidly in our bank. So with that, I'll close that I am a father of 5. I've lived through being a minority in my household. For about 15 years, my wife and I have been outnumbered by teenagers. So we have survived that. We are true and bold in our faith and have been very active in our church for many years and still are. We receive counsel from our Lord and from our friends constantly. So a spiritual mentor of mine is a guy by the name of Matthew Kelly. Some of you may have heard of him, some of you may not. But it's important for you to know where I garner my peace, where I garner my strength to come out and stand before you today and to ask for such, a bold request to support me as your next congressperson. And Matthew Kelly says it's important every day to stand in the classroom of silence for 10 minutes. And what that really means is life is busy. Life is messy. There are challenges every day, whether it's being a good husband, being a good father, being a good business leader, being a good senator. And now I'm asking to be your choice for Congress. But if we don't pause long enough to listen to God and hand over our messes to Him, things that we don't have solutions for, things that we don't have answers for, to free up our mind to make big decisions, we're not going to be effective. And I'm here today to ask for your support, to ask for you to stand with Team Zay, andyzay.com, and just humbled to be before you, to have the opportunity to serve now in the Indiana State Senate, to ask to be your representative in Washington, D.C. in a year, and thankful to be here. We'll be happy to meet with you. I'd be happy to take a few questions now if it's appropriate with the chair. And just humbled to be before you today. Thank you very much. Answered everybody's questions. Man, that might be one of my most effective speeches ever.
Thank you again, Andy, for making the trip up, and we certainly wish you the best of luck, and always welcome to be here. Lincoln Day is May 24th. All right. Speaking of that, yes, May 24th, we're going to have the 3 gubernatorial candidates. And last year, I think I was, been doing these Lincoln Days for a long time. And last year it was overwhelming. Everyone was like, we really enjoyed that Lincoln Day with just a fireside chat with Senator Braun. So we're going to duplicate that in that type of setting, not necessarily a debate, but we're going to have just a fireside chat, and we're going to be out at the event center. Moved it out there to have a little bit more room, and we're looking forward to it. So May 24th, if anybody would like to be a sponsor, we'd appreciate that. We also have some advertising opportunities. So there's a little bit of information there. We got a couple of different folks that want to make some announcements. Bill, do you want to come up? We have Bill Bettinger from Kiwanis that's got some raffle tickets, which I also am a Kiwanian, and I have sold only one. So if you want any.
But you sure you don't want to do
No,
this?
you do it. That's fine.
Good morning. I'm Bill Batinger. I'm with the 101 Lakes Angola Kiwanis Club. And naturally, we're having a raffle going on. Sorry about the short time, because the raffle is going to be this Thursday. but it is a raffle that we put on that we support a student that goes to trying. And so it's made up of the four county high schools. We do have a winner this year that will be going, and it's a 4-year scholarship. So it's $500. So it's $2,000. So I have tickets. They're $20. There is prize money associated with that. So if you'd be interested in that. If I may, I have a little joke. Okay.
Keep it clean, Bill.
It is very clean. I talked to Barb and she said that it has something to do with Democrats. And I said, yes. So she said, I think the crowd would like it. So here's a little kid standing out in front of the group. It's at the Democrat convention. He has a sign that says free kittens, and going along. Of course, nothing happens after that. A couple weeks later, he's at the Republican convention. Still says the sign, free kittens. Nobody's going by. Anything else is looking at the cats, etc. But a reporter comes up to him and says, you were at the Democrat convention. Now you're here. What's the difference? Well, he says, now they have their eyes open.
That was a great delivery. I like Ronald Reagan's a little bit better. That's a funny one. We have parade season coming up, and I know everyone is very excited about that. But we will be getting that going. GOP is coming out of retirement. If you don't know who GOP is, that's our big elephant, steel elephant, which I think Karen named him. The sheriff's kids named him. Yes, you did. Get it? GOP, then PY, GOP. Anyway, so we'll be moving full force with that. We have, of course, we're going to have our municipal candidates that will be taking part of that. We hope to have our TARS involvement and helping getting them involved with that. And so that's going to be great. I know I'm forgetting. I always am told Wendy, thank goodness, hopefully Wendy's not watching this, and because she would be like, you should write this stuff down so you remember. Karen, do you have anything you want to say? Teresa, did you want to do? You got to come up here, Jim. You're on candid camera. Just kidding. You're really not. Jim's bashful and doesn't like to talk.
I am the joke. I reached out to some of you earlier this month. Debbie and I are supporting Suzanne in her run for governor. And you might know that we captained for Mike Braun to go to Senate. But the reason we're going to support Suzanne is because when I call her cell phone, she answers. And if she doesn't answer, she usually calls me back within 10 minutes. So my ask here today is as we move into the season, if anyone would like to help me with signs and any other things that we can do to help get Suzanne elected, it would be greatly appreciated. So thank you.
I didn't know that was a political one. I would have, no, I'm just kidding. That's fine. Teresa, do you want to come up and just speak briefly about TARS? Paula, would you like to come up? Paulette, where are you? Paulette is a Steuben Republican Women's president. The speaker is yours.
So our ladies group's been doing so many good things. I am so proud of every one of them. I'm proud to be the president of this group because I couldn't ask for a better group of ladies to be a part of. I've really developed some friendships with a lot of them and just love what we're doing for Steuben County. In March, we decided to donate some funds for the Steuben Literacy Coalition. And somehow my vice president and I got roped into reading to kindergartners. we thought we were just buying some books. So pray for me. May 17th, I'll be reading to kindergartners. That'll be fun. We put flyers out. So May 15th, we do get to travel down to Leato for congressional, like a district meeting. It's all women. You don't have to be a part of our club. If anyone wants to join, we will be carpooling from the Community Foundation. So if anyone wants to attend, Todd Rokita, one of my favorite attorney generals, he will be speaking. And May 17th, we'll be having our social. That'll be at Buck Lake Grill. That's for men and women. We do provide the appetizers, and you just come and have a good time with us. Pancake breakfast. We're starting to pre-sell our tickets. Leslie or Terry has them. Terry Fugate. If anyone wants to pre-buy any of our tickets for the pancake breakfast, that will be held at the Pleasant Township Building on June 24th, starting at 8 a.m. If anyone wants to volunteer to help, we appreciate the help setting up and tearing down at the end. And there was something else I was going to say about it. Oh, I did write it down. If anyone wants to give any monetary donations for the food or drinks, we'd appreciate that as well. Just let Terry Fugate know. And we did vote at our last meeting to sponsor an etiquette dinner. That will be this fall, and that's for high schoolers. And so if anyone knows a high schooler, it can be a boy or a girl. That'll be held out at the 6 on James. And if anyone knows a high schooler, just let us know and we'll get in contact with them. That won't be until the fall. So we're just doing a few things, you know, here and there, but we do stay very busy, and I'm really proud of our group.
And the meeting that you're going down, the district meeting is for women only. They identify as women or just, okay. Just kidding. Terry Steele with our TARS, new TARS that we're just getting up and going. The Central Committee decided to give some seed money, so we gave $500 to get this up and going. So Terry,
Teresa,
sorry,
that's okay. There is a Terry out there.
Good Lord.
All right. Well, I would like my team that has been helping me. So Denny Springer, who is also the breakfast sponsor for this morning, and Sierra, who is also very involved in helping put up displays in churches. She found 8 churches that she was able to put displays up to educate voters on. Okay, I know I need to get you better at this too, don't I? All right. Thank you. All right. So Sierra has been very involved, and she has put up displays to educate voters on who's on their ballot, so they don't just show up and not know who they're voting for. So she's been doing a tremendous job with that. And then Amanda has also been very involved in helping to get things up and going on social media. So this is the team that is making it happen. We, if you have seen on your tables, we created this flyer, and it was on one of the PowerPoint slides, but we have this flyer that we'd like to get some help distributing, whether you want to do that electronically or if you need a hard copy, let us know. But I want to give everyone, I think you guys should give them a round of applause because they are doing a great job. You want to come up with it? Oh, so we are still recruiting students. So if you know of any students, we're looking in Hamilton, Prairie Heights, Angola, Fremont, homeschooling. So if you know anyone that is involved with youth groups or anything that will connect us to students, we would love an introduction. And we are still recruiting, and we can use as many people on our team as possible in whatever capacity that you want to do things. So if you want to help invite people to like our TARS page, we do have a Facebook TARS page, and we're trying to get out there and educate people on the values that TARS have. So we're following what they do at the national level. And then I'm going to let the rest of this team, if they have anything else they want to share, because I might have missed something. So, okay, this is Sierra.
And on your table, you'll find the flyers. If you have a teenager, please take one home. If you have a neighbor that has a teenager, if you have a grandchild, a granddaughter, a grandson, if you work and maybe there's a bulletin board that you could put a flyer up, then we'd like for you to take that flyer. As a matter of fact, it has all the information about the Lincoln Day dinner. And all of you will be coming to the Lincoln Day dinner, right? Well, put your reminder up. This has the time, the place, and the picture of the speakers to remind you who's going to be there. In the lower corner, we're going to use this as kind of the motto for the TARS group. So hopefully you'll be seeing that on various things. So this is your reminder, put it up. I also wanted to mention Tuesday night after the election, we had a nice group meeting at Sutton's, and there was a table at Sutton's, had 4 teenagers at that table. Well, we've been trying to recruit teenagers, and right away I thought, who are these teenagers? Who do these teenagers belong to? And I'm watching, and I don't see anybody talking to them, an adult that I know that I can find out who are these teenagers. And then I finally saw Ryan Herbert walk over to that table, but I didn't see any other adult go over to talk to them. So I said, Ryan, do you know these teenagers? They're Ryan's. So that was great. But you know what? If you see a teenager at the Lincoln Day dinner, let me challenge you, and every one of us, I should have done it that night at Sutton's, and I just kicked myself. I didn't. If you see a teenager, go up and meet that teenager, introduce yourself, make them feel welcome. They are our future. Isn't that the reason we do this? For their future. We're doing this for their future, but they are our future. Let's let them know that. We are going to try to have a backdrop so we can have pictures taken with those speakers. Get your picture taken with them. Remind them they're our future and let them know they're going to be the mayors, the council people, the commissioners, state reps. Tell them, 5, 10, 15 years from now, they're going to be the leaders of our community. Build them up, make them welcome. So let me make that a challenge. Every single one of you, go see them, meet them.
Okay, as Teresa says, we are a team, but we do have a team leader. Her name is Teresa. And on one of the first meetings that we had, Teresa made a statement. She says, this TARS for teenagers, it's all about engagement with the intent of retention. Pretty much says it all, does it not? Just in a matter of 2 weeks, the 4 high schools in Steuben County are going to have 400 seniors that are going to walk in their graduation ceremony. Historical data says that half of them, 200, are going to go on to a higher education track. But the question is, are they engaged? Will they be retained? Will they come back to Steuben County? How about the other 200 who are not going on to higher education? The question is the same. Are they engaged? Are they going to want to come and stay in Steuben County? This TARS program has got substantial potential and may have quite an impact. So the 4 of us are asking for your support. Stay with us and be with us as we get this up and going. Thank you.
I just wanted to take a moment and tell you from probably maybe a little bit different perspective. Teresa, I've talked to her many times. She's been into politics like her whole life. Like she was on all kinds of things in high school. I was not. I'm coming from a perspective is I'm now much older, 20 years graduated from high school, and I had no desire. I had no desire for politics, didn't have an interest in them actually at all. And as I've gotten older and as the last 5 years have kind of really changed in our community, it has given me an opportunity more than ever to realize that we do need the younger ones to be engaged. I wish that I was more engaged as a younger person, knowing that our politicians and the other people in our community is what shapes it. So that's where I'm coming from. And I hope that I can help learn and grow and also help our community be engaged and work together as a community as it should. Does anybody have any questions for us?
So there's the national TARS, and TARS, it stands for teen age, and it's two separate. So it's not teenage, it's teenage Republicans. So there's national, and then typically they're per county. So anyone can start one up, but you do need an adult sponsor. So, but they'll be set up just like we have the Steuben County GOP, where we have Rick as our chair, Karen as our vice chair, we have Rick Herbert as our treasurer, and Eric Prawl as our secretary. They'll have the same thing, but they do have to have the oversight of an adult. So, but I didn't want to do it by myself because I think that we can achieve more if we do it as a team. And I want to involve and engage as many people as possible. And I want parents to get engaged as well. And this is just the starting point. So once we get the teens up and going and get them strong, we also want to start the young adults. So teens, and I wanted to mention this, are from age 13 to graduation, and then the young adults will be from that point on to age 40. But we do actually have somebody that's a 12-year-old, our Tony Ice's son, Tony, who is very into politics, and he's 12. And we're not going to card anybody. So if you have those kids that are into politics, like I had a daughter that she would scold me if we were going to listen to Candace Owens. She'd be like, "Mom, you started without me." Like, how dare you? So yeah, if they're younger and they want to get involved, I got involved when I was doing junior, what was it? It was through the American Legion. It was the junior auxiliary. And that just taught us how to have the proper meeting etiquette. And then I know that Leslie Hall and I both were in Hoosier Girl State. So I also want to partner with the American Legions so they understand what those opportunities are. And I know Randy Coffey was involved with Teen Court, and I was involved in that in high school as well. So there's a lot of different ways that we can connect and partner with all the great programs that are out there, so kids can understand what opportunities they have. They can meet our commissioners, they can meet our county councilmen, they can meet people that are in the city, they can understand why a school board is important and what they do and the decisions that they make, and they can just understand how tax dollars work and how they should be spent properly. And then, of course, when there's government overreach, they can understand that and call it out as well. So, because we do want them to understand how government runs. And then, is there anything else that you wanted to say? Or are you going to kick us off? Okay, so I think that's it. But thank you for listening. And if you are interested, please reach out to us. Amanda's contact information is on the flyer. So I just wanted to put a name and a face to that, that contact information, so parents know there is a real person that is associated with that. And I just want to thank this team, and I want to thank the Central Committee for giving us that $500 seed money to get this up and going. That will go to help promote it and also help with the cost of events. So thank you.
There was one other thing I wanted to share with you. We went down to Noble County to sit in on, one of their meetings with the TARS. And the comment was made that Noble County is very envious of Steuben County because we're able to get this many people to come together for a breakfast. They haven't been able to do that. Now, we're envious of them because they have an up and going TARS group and we don't have yet, but we're working on that. But I thought that was interesting that they were kind of envious of us. So we need to take pride in this very group. They would love to have this. We will love to have the young people. So be proud of ourselves here.
Sorry, you can stay up here. Wait. Sorry. Okay. Great. I said something to Kara Laughlin and to Mike Meek. And so I want them, if they want to come up, I would love to give them some recognition because of what they've kind of stirred up. So thank you. Come on up. So Kara Laughlin is Andy Laughlin's wife. Andy Laughlin is one of our newer commissioners. And okay, so Kara brought to our attention that we don't have the following that the Democrats have in our Facebook page. We still are lagging, and I'm a little bit competitive. I don't know about you, but this is supposed to be a red county, right? And I mean, it's evident in the elected officials, but we're still lagging behind in our followers on Facebook. So we need you guys to invite your friends to like the page, and we need engagement. And that's why I have Mike up here. Mike has done a tremendous job engaging with our Facebook page. And I'm so thankful because like every time I'm posting something, he's liking it. I'm like, it gives me a little like, what is it? The hormone that makes you feel good. I'm like, yay, I got a like, woohoo. So make me feel good too and make us more engaged. Because if they see that the community wants to be engaged with the GOP, then hopefully that will have a rippling effect. So more people will want to come and be involved. And that's what we want. So thank you. Kara and Mike, do you have anything you want to share?
Sorry, I'm a little short. Well, thanks, Teresa. I won't tell everybody where I spend most of my time engaging the Facebook page. But yeah, no, I think it's extremely important, especially in this day and so I don't have to thank you, Mike. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it. It's very important in this day and age to get the word out, and it's very easy. It's easier than, back in the day that we all remember. But Teresa's right. We are a red county and proud of it. So one other thing before I get yelled at, I hope everyone saved room and didn't eat too much breakfast, because at about 10 o'clock, 9:30, in front of Rural King, Land O'Lakes Chicken. Okay, $8 a half. Benefits to Steuben County Crime Stoppers, a wonderful organization. We're going to be out there running back and forth. Tips welcome. But hope everybody can come out and make it and have some good chicken. Did I forget anything? No. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have. And for those that don't know me, I'm sure everybody does. I'm Mike Meeks. I'm the Chief Deputy Sheriff right now here in Steuben County. So any questions? Comments, complaints? No? Okay.
Teresa, I'm going to give you a time limit next time. I'm kidding. It was good information and it is important. I've got a son that just graduated. He's up in Chicago and libtard land. And, I was picking him up, or he was picking me up from the airport, and maybe it's my fault for preaching about politics for so long. My kids' eyes start rolling in the back of their head when I start talking. But you know what? I tried it. Now that he's paying taxes and earning an income, he's finding out that this stuff that we get involved with is important. It affects our lives. And that's why we want these TARs to be critical thinkers. Understand there's a lot of things coming in, and we need to teach them about the Constitution, because I don't think that's being done. And so we need them to understand that they have a future and they need to be participating. So anybody that has kids or wants to be part of that, there's going to be, hopefully we're going to be doing, it's not going to be just boring stuff, but I think we're going to be able to take it and make it tangible to them, and making them understand why they have to at least pay attention to what's going on and be able to digest it and understand it. So Lincoln Day we have coming up. We have Back to Blue. That's in October. What is it? 14th? October 14th. That'll be at the event center. It's our 5th year and it's our 5th location because we keep on growing and growing. And thank you to the Women's Club for getting that and taking that over, and Christina and your crew, Terry Fugate. Thank you for getting that going, and it's gotten bigger and better every year, and we certainly appreciate it. Senator Glick, thank you for your continued support of our being able to be here. And I like to always mention that every time. You've given us a yearly funds to be able to meet here. It's not free and it's not cheap. And we thank you for being here. It allows us to have a great facility and great crowds. And Lincoln Day, speaking of the TARS, we always, and hopefully we can count on, I don't want to put you on the spot, but Senator Glick and Denny Zent, Representative Zent has always sponsored 2 tables, and that's where we put, so we have capacity for 16. I'd love to have to ask Senator Schmaltz, maybe Andy over here, for more sponsorships, because we have so many teams that we need additional seats, and that event center seats 400. I'd love to have that issue. So anyway, it's going to be a great event. If we have nothing for the benefit of the good, I'll say have a great weekend, beautiful weather, and we'll see you back here for our last meeting for the summer, which will be next month. Other than that, thank you, everybody. Have a great day.